Using the valuable wisdom of Abraham Hicks through the power of hypnosis, this video will automatically program your subconscious mind to be in alignment with your higher self so that you can manifest your desired future and dream life much easier and much faster. This works like a charm. All you have to do is get into a relaxed state where your subconscious will soak up this important knowledge about life and the universe like a sponge. In order to go into this light trance, I first need you to sit or lie down in an environment that is familiar and comfortable to you, where for a while you can be completely undisturbed. Now, get your body in a relaxed position and close your eyes. Begin to let go of any tension that you might feel in your body. Typically, we hold the most tension in the shoulder and jaw area, so relax those as best as you can. Once you've done that, take a deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out slowly. Breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Once more, breathe in, hold for a few seconds, and breathe out. Breathe out any remaining tension in your body. Already, you've accomplished a great deal of relaxation in your body and are feeling very calm and grounded. Now, let's work on that raging mind of yours. Quiet it by focusing on your regular breathing. Focus on focusing, and in doing so, allow thoughts that will inevitably pop up in your mind to pass you by without you paying any attention to them. You can acknowledge that they're there, but you don't have to engage in them. Not right now. Right now, all you have to do, and all you really want to do, is be still and listen to my voice. You want to do this because you want to reconnect to yourself, your true self that never left you, that is waiting for you to return to it. We are going to have a remarkable experience together today, fueled by Abraham's wisdom. So now, we can all admit that we have problems that we have to face. How can we make finding solutions to problems sustainable for us? How can you approach a problem from a solution standpoint? You've got a choice. You can be problem-oriented or solution-oriented, and they are different. You can't be solution-oriented at the same time that you're problem-oriented. So, the problem will present itself to you as you're aggressively moving through life. You can't have any exposure to life without seeing some of what you do not want. But the key is not getting all caught up in the problem. And the key to understanding this important thing really lies in your understanding of your own worth, your own worthiness, your own well-being. Because who you really are is clear-minded. Who you really are loves. Who you really are feels good. We want to help you realize that your own thought can lure you away too. You can have a memory that takes you there. You can even listen to music that reminds you of the day that the person that you loved most in all of the world walked away with someone else. And every time you hear that song, you go right back into the depression that you were in that day. There are all kinds of touchstones that lift you and touchstones that are downers to you. And what we want to suggest to you is that you must decide that you're going to take control of your vibrational frequency, which means you have to decide where you're going to focus and what you deserve. Your deservability, that you never again feel it necessary to stand in any period of time and defend yourself against anything. That's the way all things are for you. You're looking around this world and you're selecting what you want. And if you would stand in the place of expectancy, thinking, I expect that what I want will come to me because I'm deserving of it, because I'm worthy of it, because I understand the laws of the universe. I understand how this all works. I understand who I am. I understand that I am source energy, and that part of that source energy came forth in this physical body. And I understand that I came to sift and sort, and to know what I don't want, so that I would know what I do want. Because I know that when I know what I do want, it will be given to me. Because when I ask, it is given. Even though you may still be focused upon the problem of what's going wrong, there is a solution that is coming into focus too. A solution that while you don't have access to it, while you're focused on the problem, and while you shouldn't have access to it while you're focused on the problem, because step 1 is an important part of the 3-step equation for creation. Step 1 is asking, and it requires some poking around in some problematic places in order for the question to occur. There is a question and an answer, and they are different vibrational frequencies, but they are the byproduct of your exposure to life experience. When your question comes into focus, so does your answer. And when your problem comes into focus, so does your solution. When your illness comes into focus, so does your wellness. And when your lack of whatever you want comes into focus, so does the abundance of it come into focus. But the question is, where is your vibration? Are you in a place where you can let the solution the abundance, the wellness, the clarity, the stamina, the vitality. Can you right here, right now, let it come into focus? And the answer to that question is, you could if you were not beating the drum of the problem to death. There is a tendency that you have picked up along your physical trail to poke around at the problem for an inordinate amount of time. And the reason that you usually poke at the problem longer is because the problem feels like such a problem that it seems like it's worth the effort of defining where it came from and who is the fault of it. If in your focused life, your physical body is feeling sick, there is a proportionate wellness that is queuing up, coming into focus at the same time. These words, coming into focus, are the words that we most want you to pay attention to. And what we would like you to realize is that all of that is fine, and you really can do no wrong, because poking at the problem is poking at a solution. You have to make a decision when it is no longer of value to you to grow the problem and the solution. You have to decide, has the solution gotten big enough for me now because of my attention to the problem that I'm ready to attempt to orient myself in the direction of the solution? Or would I like a bigger problem and therefore a bigger solution? So step 1 is poke around at the problem. Step 2 is the solution is born. Source is right there, shining the light on it and holding it steady for you. Step 3 is you got to become a vibrational match to the solution if you are to live it. And that is always true. When you ask, it is always given. But the question that we want to put to you in a way that you will really leave here knowing the answer within yourself is, when you ask, it is given, but do you let it in? Do you let it in, or are you still so defensive about your right to have it that you hold yourself in resistance to the very things that you've been asking for? That expectation is what we want to foster within you, above all things. If we can convince you that the law of attraction is as it is, if we can convince you or remind you because you have forgotten that your source energy in a physical body, if we can help you to understand that the contrast that you live is causing you to ask on many levels of your being for improvement that the majority of you are not even close to being up to speed with, then you would understand what your emotions are all about. That you are supposed to feel good, and that life is supposed to treat you well. You all are upon this platform, whereas more and more of you begin to accept your perfection, your worthiness, where you become satisfied with where you are, but eager for more. The jumps in your creation will look like quantum leaps to the world that is looking on from the outside. They will not be able to fathom the remarkable jumps that you're making. But to you, it will feel just like the next logical step. And then you ride that current from your vantage point, where the contrast brings you to the next thought for you. And that next thought is not such a big jump for you, is it? It is not such a big jump to anticipate from where you are. And it has never been a big jump for anything to be anticipated from wherever that vantage place is. It always sounds really, really big when you say, what are the steps involved in taking a thought and producing it into something that is physical? And we say, don't try to make that big of a jump. Stand where you are and say, it is not difficult to imagine standing up. It is not difficult to imagine driving your car from where you are. It is not difficult to imagine. And that's the key that we think you're looking for. Because if the jump is too big, then the expectation isn't in place. There becomes resistance in the vibration. And that's why it feels to you like it takes time. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be talking about things that feel really, really good to you. For example, if we were to say to you, virtual reality now, where are we? Choose any time-space reality. We don't think you'd say, I'm at the hospital at my mother's bedside. That's a sort of reality that you feel obligated to face. And so go, if you must, and sit by your bed. But don't talk about it otherwise. Don't use that as your basis of thought, because it's probably not the most life-giving thought that you might think. Now, does that feel wrong to you? Do you feel like you are abandoning someone in need when you're not giving your every thought to them? If you did feel like you were abandoning your mother, then you could have thoughts about your mother. You just don't have to go to where she is now. You have so many choices, you see. We're guiding all of you here today. You can feel us sort of stubbornly bringing you back to this virtual reality because we wonder, when there's so much that one might think about, why one would choose a problem. Or when there's so much that you might think about, why one would cause a dilemma. Or why one would remember an insult. Or why one would focus upon an injury or an ailment, when there's so much that you could be using to activate vibrations within you that could serve you so much better. Life is now. How are you vibrating? Life is now. How are you vibrating? Life is now. How are you vibrating? Well, I'm worried about my mother. But why would you do that now? Well, I don't know. I just am. Well, don't do that. Well, I feel like I should. Well, why? Well, because I don't know. Shouldn't I be worried about something? Shouldn't I be trying to fix something? And we say, you're vibrating now. Your life is now. Your life force is now. You're letting it in now, or you're not letting it in now. Why would you want to choose anything now that doesn't allow life force to flow fully now? Well, because shouldn't I face reality? Well, then if we want to face reality, let's look at the broader view now. Isn't there something good that you might find in reality to face? Think about it, my friend. And now, take it upon yourself to create your life. Because as Abraham says, your life is now. In a moment, you'll be ready to return to your normal state. All the positive vibrations are merged within you. And for now, any questions or doubts that you had have been resolved. All is coherent, and the path ahead is clear and ready for you. And I would like you to bring back with you all the knowledge, wisdom, guidance, and inspiration that you have received during this hypnotic experience. Take a moment or two to ground yourself. Feel the blood coursing around in your veins, your heart gently and rhythmically beating, your eyelids feeling lighter as you become fully orientated to your surroundings. Good. Now, when you're ready, I'm going to count the numbers from 1 to 5. And when I reach 5, you will be fully alert and wide awake. In case you'd like to sleep now, you can ignore the following wake-up suggestions and go into a restful slumber. Everything I've said to you has been heard by your subconscious mind and will be put into practice for you starting today. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Coming slowly back. 4. Eyelids beginning to flutter. And 5. Eyes open, wide awake. Mind and body returning to normal, conscious awareness. Take great care of yourself.